All right, we will go ahead and get started. So, first of all, just welcome guys to our first ever community AMA. We've done so many AMAs so far, but not any of them were focused on our community and what we are doing and how you guys can get involved, how you guys can benefit, and really just what all we have going on. Because I think there's a lot more than what meets the eye, especially in the background. We got our whole entire team here to kind of talk about what they do. We got Chris, we got Cole, we got JoJo, we got Sydney, and we got myself. So I'll just get started with introductions. So my name is Zach. You see me typically running AMAs. I do a lot of networking with other projects. And then most of all, I do a lot of the operations work, making sure everybody's doing kind of what they need to be doing, and then coordinating different things, getting ideas out there. A lot of the decisions are kind of run through me before we kind of go live with them. I mean, they're run through all of us too. I mean, we all have a pretty equal share or equal say in what we all do here, but that's kind of my role. So I'll hand it over to Chris if you want to introduce yourself, tell us what you do here. That'd be great.
Yeah. So I'm Chris. I'm not sure if you've seen, but I run a lot of the content now on our YouTube channel. We kind of switched that in the past month. So been doing that for about a month, and then also working on the education center, getting that out to everyone so that we can start to encourage people that are not in crypto to get into crypto, show that it's not too scary, and kind of go through what crypto is all the way down to, more specific DeFi projects and what that means and how to do things and all that kind of stuff. Just trying to really educate people. And the YouTube channel, of course, is more for current projects that are out there and, just what's happening in crypto and how we can benefit from all the craziness that is all super fast paced. And so that's mainly what I've been doing recently. But then I also help a lot with the strategy on, whether it's marketing or that kind of thing as well, just giving my input here and there with other things. Cole, do you want to take it from here?
Yeah, of course. Hey, everybody, I'm Cole. I am the developer for Cardinal House. So I've got a lot of things going on behind the scenes. Like, for example, I created our website, cardinalhouse.finance. I'm working on the educational center right now. So Chris mentioned that already because he's kind of in charge of getting the content for it, but I'm actually implementing that portion of the website too. And then I'm also working on all of our smart contracts. So when we actually have our own token and our pre-sale, and once we have the memberships on the blockchain, all of that will be run by the code that I make. So yeah, doing a lot behind the scenes and really excited about this project and everything that we've got going on. And also Sydney is right next to me, so she can go ahead and introduce herself.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Sydney. I'm the graphic designer for the team, so I do all the graphics, all the art on the website. Most recently, I've been working on the NFTs. I mean, there's not much detail I can go into that. I just produce all of the art graphics that you see.
Yes, and we'll be teasing some of the NFTs pretty soon here. So yeah, how about you, Jojo?
Yeah, you guys probably see me around a lot. I like to know myself or give myself the title of the quickest responder on Discord. Um, I'm around the community a ton. I do a lot of the networking, and it's going to transition into more of the marketing as we release our services. So I'm going to keep it short with that, and I'll pass it back to Zach.
Yeah, thank you guys for the introductions. So a little bit of backstory on why we started Cardinal House. So if you guys don't know, Cole and I also run a project called Chain Estate DAO. And the idea there is that we're merging the real estate world with the blockchain world. So making it a higher or a more liquid asset and a lower barrier to entry. And through that, that process, we learned so much, and we've just taken so much value out of that. But we also learned that a lot of people that are getting into crypto, they don't necessarily want to take the time to do the research on going into the intricate details on different projects that they're investing in, or they don't really understand what they're getting themselves into. And then, that's kind of a problem if people are just kind of throwing money left and right at stuff that they don't understand. Um, that's one thing that we really want to help solve, as well as running a project. It takes a lot of marketing dollars to kind of get your project off the ground. And if you don't have, I mean, multiple six figures of marketing dollars, your project is likely not to get anywhere. For example, there's different AMA groups in Telegram. One in particular, it's called Golem's Gems. They do some really good AMAs, but on the project side, it costs $7,000 just to get in front of 500 to 600 people. So if you add that up, that's a lot of $7,000 bills that you need to shell out just to get a good audience on your project, and that really deters a lot of innovative projects from really getting their name out there. And between helping people educate them, get them up to speed on what they're investing into, helping them understand, and helping projects really reach a new market without having to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on marketing. That's really why we created Cardinal House, and we think that we can benefit everybody involved. So, yeah, with that being said, our values are really just providing as much value as we possibly can to both the projects that we are working with and then also the members that we have on board, and that we can, present opportunities to them, host AMAs that they can tune into and kind of hear from the project teams themselves, give whitelist opportunities, and everything in between. So, yeah, Chris, I'll hand it over to you if you want to start talking about the Cardinal token ecosystem.
Yeah, yeah. So I just real quickly adding on, just so everyone's on the same page, we really benefit from both sides are going to benefit from each other. So both the projects are going to benefit from our members increasing, and then the members increasing are going to benefit from those projects actually, better projects actually coming in. And I'm sure you guys can see we can bring bigger and better projects on the more members we do have coming into AMAs. So we really appreciate you guys always stepping in and, wanting to learn more about these things. And then on the other end, as we get more members, we can, bring those projects to you and help you actually see some of these bigger projects and hear from them firsthand what they're doing and all that kind of thing. So everyone's kind of benefiting from each other here. As far as you want me to talk about the tokenomics themselves?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay, so as far as the ecosystem, we have a very different model, I think, from most people. So with Cardinal House, we have our token that is being introduced within the next month. I'm not sure if we have a set date for that yet, but we're kind of figuring out what day that would be best on. But I know Cole's gotten the finishing touches up on it. So within the next month and a half, we'll have our token released. Now, this is not something we're pushing out to be an investment, but rather just a transactional token for our ecosystem. So people are welcome to speculate as they like, but that is not all the intention behind it. I just want to make that very clear. One, it's illegal for us to say that it is something that will go up in value. And then two, it's just, I don't want anyone putting blame on us for, investing in something and then regretting that decision. So it is completely on you. However, we do have a couple things that will create an asset that will slowly increase I should say decrease in number. So we do have ways that those tokens are being burned. We are accepting payments from both our members and our projects. On the project side of things, we're going to be doing things like KYC, audits, a bunch of different project services using a launch pad that we actually are developing a partnership with Exo Finance, if you guys have tuned into that AMA. And with that, we're going to be burning a percentage, anywhere between 20 and 50% of the payments we receive. That total fee will be kept in Cardinal token and put in a wallet or burned permanently. I'm not sure how the back end works as well. I know we talked about two options, either burning them or locking them away in a wallet permanently. I'm not sure which one we'll do. Cole would be the one to answer that. But as far as that whole thing goes, we will be taking supply out of Cardinal token and slowly reducing the total supply. We're starting off with 10 million tokens, and slowly over time that will continue to decrease as we get more traction with our project services and such. We also have our memberships being introduced. Zach, I'll let you touch up on those because I know you had some specific pieces you wanted to get to on those, and I don't want to show anything off if you're not quite ready for for it to be talked about.
Yeah, that's all good. We will be screen sharing a little bit more later on about NFT, or sorry, our memberships and how the NFTs will work and all of that. But essentially, our memberships are kind of like the above and beyond thing. If you want to get more involved in Cardinal House, and reap the benefits of our ecosystem. That's another way you can do that. So we'll talk about that. Jojo will be the one to show us a little bit more about that. But really, our ecosystem is designed to encourage people to participate and really just allow people to benefit from other projects utilizing our services, because without our audience, then we couldn't offer the services. And without offering services, then our audience wouldn't benefit. So they go really, really, really well hand in hand. And I think it's just a true win-win-win situation for everybody involved. But as far as like what we're working on now, Cole, if you want to get ready your screen share to show us the education center, we're working on that. We're actually almost ready to launch the first iteration of that, and we're super excited because a lot of almost every project now is saying, oh, we're big on education. We really value teaching people what they're getting into. They say that, and then they might start something, but
Mm-hmm.
they don't actually finish it. And with this, like, we're already almost finished with our first iteration, and we're super excited because it's pretty involved. It's super cool. It tracks progress, but I'll just let Cole
Can I
take it
can I
over.
interject really quick?
Oh yeah, of course.
So about the memberships, I know we'll go into a deeper dive after the educational center bit. But just so no one gets scared off, we are keeping the rest of our services the exact same. So our memberships will only affect additional services that we'll now be providing. So if you were tuning into AMAs, you are still more than welcome to do that. But we have extra services coming out for those paid memberships. So don't feel like, like we're completely pulling everything away. We're not changing anything about being a community member of Cardinal House, and we want the community to be the primary focus, with the memberships just getting a little bit more on specific project research and such. Sorry, you can keep on going, Zach.
Yeah, I'll just hand it over to Cole. He's got his screen shared right now, so if everybody wants to quickly watch that, he'll go over our education center and show you what we got so far.
And I tried sharing my entire screen, not just a single window, and my Discord actually crashed. So right now I'm sharing just my Chrome browser with the education center here. But yeah, this is a quick sneak peek of what our education center is going to look like, and we're actually, I think, going to release the first at the end of this week. So it'll kind of be like we have the foundation laid out, and then we're going to expand upon it over the course of the next couple of months, just adding features and making it as user friendly as possible, and to really make sure that it also has all the functionality that you need to track your progress and to understand the things you're reading. We're going to include a lot of different features that we'll talk about later. But anyway, to get into the meat of it here, this is what you will see when you click on a single video within the education center. So you'll see you have like the video that we're streaming from YouTube on the right hand side here with the video description as well. And then on the left hand side, you have the navigation where you have all the different categories that we're going to have laid out, starting from like the cryptocurrency history and like information of blockchain technology. And then we'll have categories that talk about mining. We'll talk about technical analysis, different ways to evaluate projects for making investments. We're going to have a ton of different categories there that we don't have here yet because it's just a quick sneak peek. But all of that will be taken care of by Chris and Kurt and other people on the Cardinal House. And then that'll be here for you to consume at your leisure here on the Education Center. So like for example, I only have 3 videos that are added here for the sneak peek. But you can start, for example, at the top, like you probably would. You'll go here to the history of cryptocurrency, and you can just click play to watch this YouTube video, but straight from within the education center here. So you actually are watching a YouTube video because we're bringing in content from many different YouTube creators into this education center. But it's all in one cohesive place, laid out in a way that we have deemed the best for you to follow easily and also get all the information you need. So you'll watch this video, and I'll just kind of go to the end here as if I watched the whole thing. And I hit the end here, and you can see that a check mark pops up right here. So now this video is marked as complete. So within your, oh, sorry about that. So within your now within your device, it has saved your progress within the education center. And so then I can go to the next video here, the origin of cryptocurrency, and I'll click play and I'll go through the entirety of this video right here. And now this one's marked as complete. And then like if I completely refresh my page, so like I'm on a brand new session on the website, you can see that my progress is still saved right here. So you can track your progress as you go through all of the videos that we have laid out for you. And like I mentioned before, we'll have a lot more here. This is just, again, a sneak peek. So just a couple of videos here that I put as I was testing this, as I was developing it. But we're planning on having dozens and dozens of videos over a wide range of topics. And there's going to be something for everyone to learn. Whether you're new to cryptocurrency or you've been doing it for a while, there will definitely be a few sections for you, or maybe all of the sections, just, depending on your experience. But yeah, we've got a lot planned here, and we'll continue to tease it over the course of this week once we get to our launch, which will probably be Saturday. So that'll be kind of like the first launch of the education center, and then we'll continue to expand on it later. And then also, if you really want to, you can reset your progress too. So that's just kind of a neat little button that I added. Especially, I kind of need to do that myself as I'm making sure everything's working. But if you ever want to reset your progress to go back and review things again, you can do that. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the education center. Behind the scenes, there's a separate page that I've created for Chris and other people on the team to manage everything. So it's pretty neat because they get to make changes whenever they want to this education center right here, even though I'm the one who developed it. So kind of made that system in the back end to help everybody manage the content. So yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for the education center. I'll pass it back over to you, Zach.
Yeah, dude, the education center, I'm super excited for it. Like it really just like puts all of the pieces in place to learn about crypto, and it makes you so easy to just sift through what you want to learn and what you don't know about, what you might already know about. And I think it's just like the ideal education center. And our kind of idea behind the whole incorporating YouTube videos is people have already built or and made these videos out for everybody, but they're not all in that one cohesive place. So it's not really worth it to make our own videos if tons of those videos already exist, right? And plus the production quality of other people's content and giving them views. So it's helping them out. Plus it's making our education center better with the higher production quality. And I think that's really beneficial for everybody involved. And if there's any gaps in the content that we think need to be filled in, then we are going to be creating our own videos for that as well. But I just think it's a super awesome place for everybody to fill in the gaps of what they need to learn about the space. But yeah, with that being said, our next thing on the list would be our events that we think really help separate us from the other groups that are doing some sort of similar ideas as us. So a lot of you guys were there for the chess tournament. That was super exciting. That took so much planning to get 16 different groups together, 6 guest speakers, and James Pelton and Austin Clark on board, and then partnering with the charity. It took so much work, but it was so worth it. We think the event went super well, and we're going to be doing more massive events like that in the future. So if any of you guys have any ideas for events like that, please let us know. We want to include the community to the best of our abilities that we can. The idea that I had for another event would be Cards Against Humanity. And the way that would work is we'd have, say, like 10 people on stage playing, and then the community could vote on what card they think is the funniest. And it would be a great way to involve the community as well. Rather, the chess tournament, the community was more so just spectators, which is great. But I think it'd be even more fun if we could include the community in the voting process on a game like that. So that's what I have. If any of you guys have any other ideas too, I would love to hear them. We could definitely set something up. But yeah, Jojo, I'm going to hand it over to you if you want to share your screen and go over the memberships and what's kind of all involved in there.
Yeah, so to start it off, I'm going to start you guys off with a little video that we had made. We showed it at the chess tournament, but this will go over the basics of what our membership will include, and then I'll touch up in a little bit of detail on what exactly that means. So I'm going to share my screen and share this video for you guys. Let me know if you guys can hear it, because I was struggling with getting audio on the stream. Okay.
We can hear it.
Okay, so to start you guys off, I'll just go ahead and share my screen and show you a little bit of what it looks like inside the Discord, a little alpha for you guys. So, what we had in mind for a couple of the things was obviously we want whitelists are a grind to get, right? So, we wanted to make it easy. So, we made a whitelist form that you guys can, any of our members who have the paid membership program can fill out. You just put your Discord name, the projects you want, how much you plan. That way we know if you're a legitimate investor because we don't want to get whitelists for people who, just are doing it to take advantage of the system. We want people who are really passionate about a project, and we would love to get whitelists for people who are passionate. But that way it reflects back on the Cardinal, or like the Cardinal House image, as we have investors who are passionate, who actually follow through when they want a whitelist. And then you fill all this out, and then we will reach out and get as many whitelists as we can for you guys. Another big thing we're doing is, let me open the Cardinal crew. So we have, every month we're releasing a monthly agenda. So these are some of the things for July. With most membership programs, I feel like they lack the structure for when someone joins the membership, they don't know exactly what they're getting. So we wanted to put it in one spot. So when you join, you know exactly what you're getting in each month. And if that's not something you want, or if that's not something, like it's something you didn't expect, then you can refund or go to a different, choose a different option. But another thing we're adding is the workshops. So every month we're going to be hosting a couple workshops for our members with various guests, who have various skills in the space. So that's going to be a monthly thing. Like as far as this month, we have one planned with Cyril from Parrotly, also known as Josh. But he's going to come on and do TA for everyone. He's very knowledgeable in that field, so we're going to bring him on for that. A couple more things our membership will be able to get you guys in the next month is our pre-sale. So our pre-sale is going to have or there's going to be exclusive access for our members. So in order to participate, you're going to need to be part of the membership program. That way we can provide some immediate benefit for our members. We're constantly trying to bring more value to our members. So if you guys have any idea of something or suggestions, we'd love to hear them. But it's going to be a constantly developing space, and those are a few of the things that we have so far.
Can
Yeah.
I add in here real quick?
Yeah.
One other way to get a membership, right, is to get one of our original Cardinal NFTs, and we'll go through a little bit of I know Cole has a little bit of alpha on those, but um, again, there's only going to be 100, but it qualifies you for a lifetime membership, and you can sell them. We will have a secondary marketplace coming up, and I'm sure people would love to purchase them from you if they are looking for the memberships long term. It really just depends on what you're looking for, but there is that option too. And we have some competitions, I believe, right now that are not finished yet, so you still have the opportunity to earn them. Some of them just involve getting a certain amount of levels in the Discord, and then some will involve sharing the Discord, and we'll have more competitions coming up in the future. So just something to pay attention to.
Yeah, I wanted to add a couple more things that are very important that I almost forgot. So we're also bringing research reports on a bunch of projects. We're gonna have written reports and audio filed reports, for you guys to either listen to or read, so you can get all the information on a project basically summed up in one spot. As well as for the first month of our membership program, it's going to be manual as we develop the membership NFTs. Cole can probably talk more about how those will work, but it's all going to be manual through a Google form. I don't know if you guys are still watching the screen share, but there's going to be a Google form, and all you'll have to do is send $50 in BUSD to the Cardinal House wallet and include your transaction hash in the Google form and then your Discord name. And we have a Google Sheet set up where it'll automatically input everyone's information, the timestamp, when it would expire. So we have all that set up. So we'll just give the roles afterwards for the first month. So this is how we're going to manually keep track of it before we get the automated NFT based membership system. Zach, I knew you had some things to add, it seemed like.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, once we do come out with the NFTs, I believe those are gonna come out in about a month. Those will be instead of having it manual. I know it's kind of a pain in the butt to start with, but we're going to have it automatically just deduct the Cardinal tokens from your wallet. And then also another thing to note is that when you do get those Cardinal tokens deducted from your wallet, 10%, or sorry, 20% of those are going to be burned. So $10 of that $50 membership is just going to straight up be burned, which is essentially just $10 per membership. That's just going to be added to the liquidity pool. So over time, with all of our services and the way that they work, I know we touched up on this a little bit earlier, but the more services that get utilized in memberships, the more money that's just going to be sitting there in the liquidity pool. So it's going to benefit the whole entire ecosystem, every single transaction with the Cardinal token. So we think it's a pretty brilliant way to just let everybody benefit, whether you're a token holder or just looking for some AMAs to listen to or whatever you want to be here for. We think that we can provide value to you in some way. So we're super excited for it. And then finally, Cole, if you want to drop an OC NFT in the chat to let everybody kind of see what they look like. We're going to be having 100 of these. So the way that you get them is through being active in our community and participating. So we're not selling these to anybody. These are strictly meant for people that have been a huge help in being just helping our community grow from the ground up. And so far, we've given out about a dozen of them. And so far, the way that you can get them is through our invite competition, chatting in chat, the Me6 leveling system. If you get to level 15, you will get one. And then there's other ways to get one. Like, for example, at the end of this AMA, we'll actually be giving one out to the best question asked. So if you guys have questions and like to ask them, go right ahead in the AMA questions channel. We'll love to ask them at the end of the AMA and give out that NFT. But yeah, that's the the OC NFT. He's a Cardinal. Got some different swag
Well,
on
would you
him.
mind posting it in the voice channel chat?
Yes, I can do that as well. First of all, I put in the AMA questions chat at first, but I can drop it in here as well.
Perfect.
Also, I wanted to touch up quickly on the memberships because the reason we're doing the manual to start is because once they're automated, it's going to be through deducting Cardinal tokens from your wallet. Obviously, the Cardinal token is not released yet, so that's why we're doing it through the separate process, paying with the stablecoin until we get to the point where we have actually launched our token, and then we can start automating the membership NFTs through having them deduct Cardinal tokens monthly. So that's kind of the reasoning there. And the reason we haven't launched yet is because we need to have time for marketing, and then we have to get the pre-sale going, and then we'll launch the token. So the timeline for that is pretty short still. Like we are planning on doing the pre-sale next month, so it'll be happening soon. But just for the first month or two, we're doing the memberships manually since we don't have the Cardinal token yet, and that whole system that I actually mostly have set up already will actually kick into effect once we've launched the token.
Not to mention, the only way you really can qualify for that pre-sale is through a membership. Or obviously the OC NFT would also qualify you because you get all
Right.
membership bonuses plus you get some extra benefits. I'm not sure if you want to touch up on those now, Zach, but those are also coming out as we move forward with Cardinal House. And then one thing I did want to touch up on, just because I know I don't want it to get a little confusing, our education center will never be paid. A lot like our AMAs again will never be paid. So if you do have anyone that's getting into crypto and they don't know where to start, our education center should be able to take them from what crypto is and literally the very basics of what crypto is, what Bitcoin is, how did it start, why did it start, all the way through how to get a MetaMask, how to trade if you're looking at more, swing trading, day trading, how to do technical analysis. So it's going to go from those very, very basic concepts all the way up through those more complex topics. So we're also using that to introduce into other projects, trying to offer that as a service for other projects that are launching to try and encourage their new holders and their new investors to start to do some more research and learn a little bit more about, what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing to mention about that education center is that we are going to be incorporating that in other projects' websites. A lot of times people will like say terms like KYC or audit or the billion other crypto terms that there are that somebody just getting into crypto now looking at their website might not understand. So we're gonna integrate our education center and like definitions where you can just do like a hover over um, definition to read what that means. It's gonna make it so much easier for people that are trying to learn about the space and not get deterred from all of the learning that has to be done in order to really understand what you're doing. So we think that that's a huge opportunity to partner up with all those projects and get them involved in our ecosystem, get people involved in our ecosystem through referencing our education center. And we just think that it's going to be a great way to bring in a ton of people to the Cardinal House ecosystem. So we're super excited. I know I say we're super excited a lot, but we are like genuinely very, very excited for everything that we have going on. And then also like past Q4 in our roadmap, we do have quite a few ideas in the works. We're not gonna talk about those quite yet because we want to keep stuff exciting and engaging for people. But just know that we do have a lot more exciting things and partnerships in the works that we can't quite reveal yet. But when we do, it's gonna be pretty exciting.
There's there's a lot that we're trying to do to provide the most value to both investors and projects that we're bringing on. So uh, definitely stuff will continue to be introduced. I'm sure, as you guys know, we've developed everything we had in about a little over 3 months. Like this server was only started a few months ago, um, and we've come quite far for the fact that we are in a bear market. So we're all really excited here to keep moving forward and keep providing as much as we can. And we're really only introducing any type of paid service, obviously, so that we can devote more time, so that we can all move into full-time work here, and increase what we can actually do and everything we can actually help you guys with. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's most of what I wanted to talk about today. Just gonna end kind of like with the conclusion, and then we can get to some audience questions. But I just wanted to give a huge, huge, huge shout out to our mod team. They've been absolutely phenomenal in helping us. Just giving us suggestions, keeping the chat active, helping people out. So Kurt, he's been absolutely massive help with our education center. He's been helping Chris kind of get some ideas going for that and making it really a huge possibility. Vegan Dad 2010, he's been super active in chat, just a super nice guy, and he's showing up to AMAs, asking good questions, super involved with the community. I love it. Then we got Zyrili. He's also very active in chat, giving us great suggestions, just really going above and beyond in the community. Then we also got a new mod, Krellborn. He's been, again, giving us some really awesome suggestions, active in chat. I mean, he's really shown that he's got a passion for helping people out and just going above and beyond. So you guys are absolutely awesome. Appreciate you. And yeah, we can get into
Zach,
some community questions.
I think we have one more thing. If you want to share about Cardinal points and how you can win an OC NFT through that.
Yeah, actually, you wouldn't mind sharing about Cardinal points. You're
Okay,
kind of the
I'll
one
take it. I'll take it. Okay,
with the
so
idea.
Krellborn actually had the original idea for this. So a way to incentivize people to come to events, to be active in the community. So we started it off doing it manually. So when people hit the interested tab, we give them 1 point, one cardinal point, and for every event they show up to, that's 3 points. And through this point system, you can spend your points on prizes, and a couple of the prizes we have so far are like 1 month membership, an OC NFT, which is more expensive. Let's see. We're gonna add merch when we have a merch store. We are going to add other prizes. I'm not looking at the list right now, but there's gonna be a lot more coming to the prize section. We're also adding a bot that allows us to automate this, so we can add more ways to get points. Like for instance, one of the ways we want to get points is through chat levels. We want points to be given for people who refer projects to us to have AMAs or to use services. We want points. We want points given for reactions, for all that type of stuff. So we're going to create a bot that automates this. So Cardinal points can be a system known throughout the space for getting our community a ton of viewership and a super active, just super active community.
Yeah, we're currently in just a trial run for it right now. There's just a couple ways to get points, and just a couple prizes just to see kind of the effect of the point system. And we think it's actually been pretty effective thus far. So we're going to be expanding on that a lot, and we're again pretty excited about it. I know that's probably sound like a broken record at this point saying we're excited, but
Zach, just stop. Just stop.
all right. Well, we can move on to some community questions, so I don't have to keep saying stuff is exciting. But let's see. I'm trying to scroll and see who's the first question. Let's see. Papa Big Mac asks, as a community, how will you balance giving projects a platform to reach new investors and also ensuring that the projects that do get an AMA in your group are of quality and not going to rug day one? So, as far as the AMAs go, I just want to make this very, very clear that um, we don't have a specific criteria for projects to come on an AMA. So, as of right now, we haven't ever charged anybody for an AMA. Usually, we either turn them down or we just say, sure, let's come on. As we get kind of more known and there's more inquiries for AMAs, we'll definitely have stricter criteria, but it's meant to be just an unbiased, just 1 hour session of learning about a project. It's not telling you to invest. It's not telling you not to invest. It's just introducing a project and getting them in front of a larger audience. So if you guys like what you hear, then or if you don't like what you hear, then that's totally up to you what you do with that information. But we want to make sure that we at least educate you on knowing what that information kind of means. So while we aren't, sifting through projects similar to like what Cryptonaires does, where they have a huge vetting process, we aren't doing that same process because, well, they have 30 researchers on their team, and we don't have 30 researchers to research every single project. But also, we're teaching people how to actually kind of make those decisions for themselves so that they can be accountable for their own decisions. So we're not just telling you to do your own research, we're actually teaching you how to do your own research, and we're having you apply that to the AMAs. So in the future, yes, we will have stricter criteria, but as far as right now, that's what we got.
Currently, we do have a couple different options open for the memberships. So we do have those project reports we spoke about, and that'll deliver a lot of our own opinions and what our thoughts are, whether we are investing in something or not. And what our honest opinions are on things. And we will have post AMA chats for members, just kind of going a little above and beyond on, hey, this is my personal opinion. You do what you want to do, but this is what I think, and here are the reasons why. So just in case you didn't, maybe you didn't catch something, or maybe I have I've seen it before or something like that. You're gonna get a different opinion that might make you question things a little bit more, or you might convince one of us like, oh, that's a really good point. You may have seen something that we haven't seen, so you're gonna get that extra personal attention that will really help for anyone that is a member. Just that little extra bonus. But none of us are ever going to be extremely against talking about whether we're invested in something or not. I know we're all very open to speaking to that, and being we're very upfront about what we're doing, what we're not doing. So if there's ever any question about that, feel free to ask. But that is an extra member benefit that you will be getting every single AMA, and you get those project reports on those projects that we feel are worth looking at. And after reading the project report, you can do your own research. It's just kind of a brief couple-page summary on this project, what they're doing, can you trust them, that kind of thing. And then if you're interested, go do a little bit more digging. And always do your own research after hearing someone else do it. But those are those extra benefits that would help with that whether you invest process, not necessarily keeping people from presenting AMAs just yet.
Yeah. Let's see. Kurt asks, for the membership, is it going to be $50 worth of Cardinal tokens or a specific amount of Cardinal tokens? So it is going to be $50 worth of Cardinal tokens. Cole, if you want to explain a little bit how the smart contract is going to automatically update to give a new Cardinal token price every day, that'd be pretty great.
Yeah, so once we actually launch the Cardinal token, at some point we'll get listed on like Coin Market Cap, CoinGecko. So we'll have prices available there. We'll also have prices available on day one through websites like Deck Screener, for example. And so what's going to happen is I'm going to have a system in the background that executes on a daily basis, determining the price of an NFT, of a membership NFT, based off of one of those websites like Deck Screener or CoinMarketCap that has the Cardinal token price. And so it'll update the smart contract every day with that new price to make sure that people are charged an accurate amount every month. So the way the memberships are going to work, just to expand on that a little bit more, is buy a membership. You're going to go onto our DApp, which we're in the process of developing, and you'll approve the DApp to spend your Cardinal tokens, like all of your Cardinal tokens. Obviously, it won't spend all of them, but it just gives the approval to, so that over the course of the months that you are a member, it'll pull $50 worth of Cardinal tokens every month, and it'll pull the number of Cardinal tokens that equals $50 based off of that value that was set on that day, since it's going to determine the price every single day. And I could change it so it's even more than every day. I could say every 10 minutes it would go in and get the next or the newest price of the Cardinal token and update the NFT price based off of that. So it's definitely a parameter that I can tune based off of how frequent we think it needs to be. But yeah, that's how the payment will work for the Cardinal tokens once we're doing it in an automated way, once we actually have the Cardinal token launch.
Definitely, yeah. I think that's a good way to keep it at a consistent price. Let's see. Red Moon asks, he's got a few questions. Let's see. First question is, what is the significance of the name Cardinal? So, a little
I
backstory.
can answer
So,
that one.
oh yeah, go right ahead.
Do you have the backstory, Zach, or do you want me to? Because
If you
I
want to, go right ahead.
yeah, sure, okay, yeah. So the cardinal is actually kind of a play on words because there's two definitions for a cardinal. One is the bird, which is very much all over the place in this server. But the other definition for cardinal is like central, or like pertinent, or kind of just like it is the place. So for Cardinal House, it is the place, the central place for people to come and learn about cryptocurrency, learn about different projects to invest in, and also for projects to come and use our services. So that's kind of why we chose Cardinal. It's a fun word that gives us a lot of graphics to work with, but then also it means like the central place for people to come together.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth.
All right, sweet.
Let's see. And then he also asked, was it always intentional for Cardinal House to have NFTs? That's actually a funny story. No. We originally came up with the idea like, oh, it'd be pretty cool to have a place where everybody could listen to AMAs together and kind of have our own AMA house. That was the original idea of Cardinal House probably 4 months ago. And we thought, it's a good idea, but it got pretty original. Like there were so many other AMA houses out there. Like that's not even something that's like cool anymore. Then we expanded it significantly into what we have now. We have something like a 30 some page white paper going over all the things that we do for members and for projects. And that's a little bit more in detail than what a typical AMA house was. So originally, no, we did not plan on having NFTs, but we expanded quite a lot over the last few months, and we're continuing to expand. I mean, we are in staff calls all the time, and we're always throwing out ideas that would be really cool to implement. But you can only implement so many ideas, and NFTs is one of those ideas that we're like, yeah, that's definitely a cool idea that we want to implement.
I think just with the space that we're in, it makes sense. It brings a level of technology to it that that automation that really helps just speed things up and keep everything moving smoothly, so we don't have to do as much on the back end manually to get keep everything running smoothly with memberships and so forth.
Yeah. Then
And we could always go into how we initially all started, but
oh yeah. If you want to tell that story, go right ahead.
yeah, so Jojo and I actually were initially it was just Jojo and I talking about. So we're actually brothers, and we were talking about wanting to do podcast episodes with project developers and that kind of thing, and learning what goes on behind scenes, basically behind the scenes of a project, and how they started and what their goals with their project were. And this was like right after we kind of got into DeFi, and Cole and Zach were actually the first people that we'd asked to hop in a podcast episode with, and Cole unfortunately couldn't make it, but Zach was there, and so we had like a full hour episode, and then we kind of talked about our goals, and it was kind of like, oh yeah, so we were thinking about doing this, at the very end, and Zach's like, hey, that's funny, I was thinking about doing the exact same thing, and so it all just kind of fit perfectly, and we're like, okay, and he sent us a link to the server that he'd already created, and was like, it was like completely brand new, but he was like, all right, yeah, let's get something going. And then in the next month or so, we kind of got everything set up and started started our own AMAs, and we started from ground zero, just like I said, a few months ago. So we've made a lot of progress, but it's definitely kind of one of those things that just everything kind of just slotted into the right place, and we all found our groove very quickly. Actually, it's really funny how we all met, and everything has just been working extremely smoothly since then. Obviously, with a lot of work on the back end, um, but yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely a cool thing to hear people doing the exact same thing as me. And I was like, oh, might as well work together. It could be something cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Red Moon's next question is, how do you plan on attracting non-crypto people, if any? So that's a huge place where our education center comes in, because there's a lot of people, especially when a bull run hits, right? There's a lot of people that hear these stories about, oh, this guy made 100x on his money, oh, this guy made 1,000x on his money, and they're like, oh, crypto looks like it could be interesting. How do I get involved? Well, they don't really know. It's not really a straightforward thing like, go here if you want to learn about crypto. Until we have our education center, then we can say, go here if you want to learn about crypto. So
Mhm.
uh, putting ads out about that, making it known in this space so people can refer people to it if they're just getting in. Like if they have a buddy that's like, hey, I've heard about crypto, and I know you're in it, like point me in the right direction. They could be like, yeah, Cardinal House has their education center. So that's our plan to attract new crypto people. We're also going to
Mhm.
have a fiat on ramp system for our tokens. So instead of having to buy BN or buy something on a centralized exchange, transferring it to a MetaMask, then connecting to a decentralized exchange, um, we're just going to have it so you can buy crypto directly with your credit or debit card. And it's going to be super easy for people that are just getting involved.
Yes. And I'd also like to say that we will have other opportunities, or at least there's been talk. We've been trying to figure out what the right numbers are and that kind of thing. But for new investors coming in, if they invite their friends just to the server, they can get a free membership or that kind of thing. And that's why we introduced the point system too, for anyone that can't necessarily afford that $50 a month. There's a way to earn those points so you can get that free membership every other month. And I think that's kind of the number we're going for, to where if you're not paying at all, but you attend every single event and are very active within the community, you'll be able to earn a membership every other month. Really just trying to encourage people to be very active, and come hang out with us, because we're always willing to help you, and then also learn from you and some of the things that you're having issues with. Because if someone's having an issue with something or a question about something, odds are there's a million other people with that same exact question that needs to be answered. So I think that's one of the biggest things. And like Zach said, on the whole, as the bull run starts to develop, once we do get back to a little bit more sound market condition, I think we're going to see a whole new influx of people. Keep in mind that very few people right now are even invested into crypto, let alone DeFi. So there are a massive amount of people that could benefit from hearing a lot of this education. And so that's really who we're going to target, and try and introduce them to crypto, to DeFi, and show them how they can do their own research to learn about these projects, so that they're not reliant on us, but we're an extra tool that they can use to as support for learning how to do research, or about some of these new projects that are coming up on the market before they're massive projects.
Yeah, 100%. I'm gonna try to get through these questions a little bit faster.
Go for
We've
it.
got 50 new messages since I started asking questions, so gonna try to get through them a little bit faster. But let's see. Do you plan on having your project audited just to ensure security? Cole, do you want to touch up on that?
Yeah, actually, could you repeat the question? I lost it in the chat.
Do you plan on having your project audited just to ensure security?
Oh, yeah, yes. We definitely do at some point. I mean, audit prices are kind of right now, so it takes a bit to get to the point where we have the funds to do that and to justify it. But yes, at some point we would want to get the card system audited, which would include quite a bit because we have the memberships and the token, and eventually we're going to move to a decentralized model where we have polling. So we're going to have polling on the blockchain based off the number of Cardinal tokens that you hold. So there's going to be quite a few components there. So it'll be a pricey audit, but yes, at some point we will get audited.
Perfect. Then the last question from Red Moon, at least in this list, is says, what if I activate or I only activate the monthly membership only in the month that I am interested in? Is there an incentive to look forward to purchasing it every month continuously? And could it be possible to pay in advance, or will we have to make sure to activate it every month? Cole, I'll let you answer that one too.
Yeah, so the easy way to kind of pay in advance is just have those Cardinal tokens ready for the contract to deduct them for the next month. So it's sort of like you don't really pay in advance because it just takes it out on a schedule. But if as long as you have those tokens available, then it'll be taken out in advance. And then as far as the incentives to pay the following months more than just like the 1 month that you maybe like really want to use it for the pre-sale or for whitelist spots or something like that, we don't have a ton planned right now to reward people for being a member long term. But there's a couple things I'll say to that. First is we're thinking about creating the option for people to purchase annually, so they'd be able to pay for a full year of memberships at a bit of a cheaper rate than if they were to do it on a monthly basis. So that's sort of like an incentive for to be a member for long. And then also, we're always open to ideas. If there are ways that you as a community or us as the team moderators and core team, if we come up with ways to incentivize people to be a member more than just 1 month. I mean, we're open ears, and I know there's so many ways that we can expand on that and make it more attractive to be a member. And as the ecosystem expands, there'll be a lot of different ways that memberships will benefit even more than they do right now. And along with that, there'll be more ways to reward people from being a member long term. And I guess kind of with that, just by nature, the one incentive to keep being a member is there constantly will be more benefits. So there'll always be more of it. So yeah, I think I'll leave there.
Perfect. The next question is from Papa Big Mac. He asks, how do you all know each other in the core team? It sounds like you all might know each other in real life. If this is the case, are you all doxed to each other and hold one another accountable? So we did go over how we met. So Cole and I are brothers, and then Chris and JoJo are also brothers. So we don't I don't know Chris and JoJo in real life, but I know Cole in real life, and vice versa for Chris and JoJo. We do want to meet up at some point though. I think that'd be pretty sweet. Maybe at the Parrotly Flocker Social Club meetup, we'll head over there, flex our Parrotly NFTs. But yeah, we are all doxed. You can see us on the team page on our website. Um, we're not just doxed to each other; we're doxed to the whole community, so you guys can see who we are. We're very open about that. We don't want to be anonymous in this space, especially if we're going to be the ones providing a bunch of services and education. Like that just doesn't seem right to me. So yeah, we're definitely open to who we are.
Yeah. Do you also want to touch up on the whole LLC as well, just to add on to that?
Yeah, we're gonna be creating a legitimate LLC. It's gonna be a business entity, so that it's gonna be an actual legitimate thing rather than most DeFi projects out there are kind of just like a smart contract and nothing else to back it up other than that it's a smart contract and they don't have any liability protection. A lot of other KYC companies don't even have this, where if somebody rugs under them and somebody gets mad and they get sued, then they could be totally screwed over because they don't have any liability protection and they could get sued for all of their personal assets. And we want to stay protected from that. We don't want that liability on us or the community. because that would, if that were to happen, that would really affect everybody in this community, not just us being the ones that are getting sued. So we want to set it up, make it as legitimate as we possibly can. So yeah, we're definitely taking a much more formal approach to business than most other companies in the blockchain space.
Mm-hmm. And if there are any concerns, like I know someone brought up the audits and that kind of thing, this is just some extra kind of backup you have for anything sketchy happening. Like you can listen to us talk all day, and even if it's audited, there's always a chance of something happening. But you know exactly who we are. We're getting our LLC set up, so you'll know exactly who to go for if something bad were to happen. But nothing bad will happen. But just if you are on the edge of like, hey, can I trust these guys at all? If you're not comfortable with it, that's totally fine. There's other ways to get involved. Even if it does involve, only purchasing your month's supply of tokens and then doing it that way. Um, but if there's ever any questions on that, we are happy to hop in a video call and be like, hey, what's going on? And just try and make everyone feel a little bit more comfortable, because we're really basing this off of a community. Like that's what we are. We are the Cardinal House community. It's nothing less than that. And I think that really sums up what we're trying to do. We are trying to be that one-stop shop for all crypto and everything involving researching crypto and, how to do whatever it is that you're attempting to do, and gain financial freedom and all that kind of stuff. But it all really boils down to trust. And in order for any of this to work, we're trying to do everything in our ability to help people feel a little bit more comfortable in the ecosystem and that kind of thing. So again, if there are ever any questions, just let us know. The only reason we wouldn't do an audit immediately is just because the price, but I think that we're thinking about trying to get some just leveraging our connections with people that we know to audit our code and that kind of thing beforehand. But we'll have more information on that later.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see. Red Moon asks another last question. um, could there be a possibility for the Cardinal tokens to run out, which would affect the ability to pay? So that kind of runs down the rabbit hole of how a liquidity pool works. And for those of you who are not familiar with it, as fewer and fewer tokens are in that pool, or at least Cardinal tokens, then there's going to be more and more, let's say, Matic on the other side of that pool, which is the token that essentially provides it value. So as there's fewer Cardinal tokens, there's going to be more Matic, and that means that the Cardinal tokens are going to be more and more expensive. So let's say there's only 0.1 tokens left in that liquidity pool. Well, that 0.1 token is going to be worth like a couple $1,000,000. So a membership would be like a 0.000005 tokens or something like that. So the Cardinal tokens, with the way that liquidity pools work, they can never run out completely. Let's see. Are you concerned about crypto regulations? There's reasons to not be doxxed, and doxing yourselves also poses a lot of risks with the internet. As far as crypto regulations go, we're very cognizant of them, and we're paying close attention. But with the way that we have things structured, we're not advertising the Cardinal token as an investment. It's a transactional vehicle that has utility within our ecosystem and governance voting. And as far as cryptocurrencies go, that would qualify as not a security. Of course, those regulations could change and we'd have to adapt, but that would essentially, that question would be posed to any project in the space. So we're definitely not offering an APY. That's a big red flag for regulations in the future, and that's like 95% of projects out there right now. So if somebody were to get flagged down, it would not be the Cardinal token. Let's see. JFIP asks, "What are you looking for in a project partnership, and how have the projects you've partnered with already benefited from Cardinal House? Are you using Cardinal House to facilitate joining other projects together?" Yeah. So, Chris, do you want to answer this one?
Sure. Okay, so can you reread the first half of it?
What are you looking
How
for in a project partnership, and how have the projects you've partnered with already benefited from Cardinal House?
Okay, so what we're looking for as far as partnerships go, I'll take the first half of this one, is something that can benefit both the project and the investor, right? So for example, we had, and this is just the most recent example, and I see Kryptonite's in here with EXO. So we have right now we had in our plans to develop our own launchpad so that we could benefit projects on really just giving them a community to launch with and that whole marketing aspect. Because launchpads really are successful for one of two reasons. One, you would have uh, the network and the marketing aspect with community behind Launchpad. And then number two, there's just something technological about the Launchpad that makes people want to launch off of it. And right now, we don't have the technology developed yet, and Cole would have been the one on that development. But after talking with EXO and seeing their launch and having them in on AMAs, we decided, hey, it'd be really good for us to partner with you guys because we have a community that would love to use your services, and we have a lot of connections with other projects while you have that whole technology back end. So we're kind of solving two of the different problems, and if we can mesh those together in some kind of partnership, we would find some mutually beneficial partnership. And I think that's one of the biggest things is finding those key pieces that would say, like Cole trying to develop something on the technology end that was comparable with EXO would take an extremely long time, firstly, and secondly, doing it alone would be even more work than I think we want him to have to bite off. But finding those strategic partnerships, I think, is really one of those key points, and we're trying to find those ways that we can be mutually beneficial. Because without that, really, you don't have a partnership. It's just someone leeching off of somebody else, and that's totally okay for like to have that as a short-term play and like, hey, would you mind helping us? Sure. Like Cardinal House has no problem helping you, and we would love to think about some kind of future partnership down the line. Um, but I think that trade in value is really the most important thing in the long term partnership. And then where I know we're already, Zach could touch up on more because he does more of the interactions with other projects. Zach, if you want to touch up on the second half of that.
Yeah, definitely. So there's like 2 second halves of the question I'm trying to figure
Okay,
out.
sorry.
How have projects that have already partnered with Cardinal House benefited? Like AMAs, get some exposure. That's a big thing that projects are looking for, of course. I think that was definitely one of the bigger ways that we can help projects out with. Also, referring people to each other. Like, let's say Parrotly has some whitelist spots that they want to give out. Well, we had an AMA with Omniverse, and they literally have a whitelist marketplace where you can go list your whitelist spots on, get some free advertising essentially, and helps the Omni token ecosystem. So that's a very good partnership that we could hook up. So we would refer Parrotly over to them, and then they would benefit from each other utilizing each other's services. So that's another way, just getting them in the ecosystem. We've definitely referred quite a few people to each other by this point, and as we continue growing our network, that's only going to increase. And I think it's going to be super powerful just for projects to be in the ecosystem that Cardinal House has, and having advantage of all of those different partnerships and all the services and all the opportunities that a bunch of projects joining together can really offer. But yeah, now I'm at 145 new messages, so I'm gonna have to speed it up even more. Let's see. Bean Low asks, can you elaborate on what was said regarding the relationship between people that are passionate about the project and the dollar amount of investment that one plans to invest? I think this is referring to the Google form that Jojo was sharing, and I do agree that was, I think, poorly worded. We're gonna change the question to say, "Are you planning on investing?" Not how much are you planning on investing, because that's a very subjective question and personal question that doesn't really need to be.
I can elaborate on this. Our thoughts behind that question were some whitelists require a certain amount to be contributed to take part in it. So we if someone was planning on investing, let's say $50, and the whitelist like amount to get in on the presale was $500, it wouldn't make sense to pair or like get them that whitelist. You know what I mean? That was the whole point, and we do understand that it's personal. And if you didn't want to answer that question, that's totally fine and completely okay. But that was our thought behind that.
Yeah. In addition, I think the big thing to remember is that sometimes people are like, oh, I can have that opportunity to ask for this whitelist spot. I'll just ask for it without any intention of really investing into that project. And we want to try and bring those numbers down. If you are at all interested in actually investing, we will 100% go out and do what we can to get you a whitelist spot. I think we're really trying to say, like, hey, are you, and like Zach said, we can change that question to, are you planning on investing? Because there are people that aren't and just kind of want to go do it because it's a new cool thing, or they're looking to sell that whitelist spot. And we're trying to keep our memberships away from trying to resell those whitelist spots we're asking for and more towards, hey, can we actually provide value to you as an individual?
Yeah, 100%. Thanks for clarifying that, Jojo. I think that it's definitely an important thing to note. Let's see. Now I've got to scroll through a bunch of chat, see if there's actually a question that pops up. One moment. This is a lot of chat to scroll through. Somebody cue the Jeopardy music.
Jojo, pull it up.
Okay, actually, I don't think there are any more questions.
Okay.
But yeah, if anybody wants to ask one last question, drop it in the chat real quick. But yeah, we had a pretty good turnout on this AMA. So
Oh,
thank.
someone's asking about KC Consulting. I don't think you touched up on.
Oh yeah, definitely. So actually, one really exciting thing to mention is that we partnered with Cyril from Parrotly. He's like an absolute genius, and he knows the ins and outs on operating a project, both from a legal side, the tokenomic aspect of it, and just all the intricacies that goes into operating a project that a lot of people don't understand, especially if they're running a project for the first time. There's so much that is unknown, and that's why we partner with Josh, because he is great at that, and he offers a consulting service to different projects, so we can refer people to him, and then a portion of that revenue that they pay him for consulting actually goes back into buying and burning the Cardinal token. So far we've gotten him one client, and that client has gotten, our referral was, I believe, $18 in some cents for the first month. So we've already got money allocated to buying and burning the Cardinal token. I know it's not much. $18 is definitely nothing to laugh at, or sorry, not nothing to laugh, nothing to brag about when it comes to buying and buying and burning. You know, you got Sphere buying and burning like hundreds of thousands, but our $18 is a start. Before we're even launched, we have funds allocated to buying and burning the token. So super thrilled about that. You know, changing the words up a little bit, Chris. You gotta appreciate that at least. But yeah,
Yeah, I think
our ecosystem is in starting to get in full gear now. So we're thrilled.
we just recently started to kind of refer people towards some of our own services. So we have a lot of that in the works. And then as we, even before tokens released, if we do end up doing any kind of project services, that money will be put aside, or whatever percentage of that money will be put aside for the burning or the buying and burning of Cardinal token. Zach, are the percentages listed on the website just yet? The specific percentages for each service?
um, Cole,
Cole would be the one to ask.
Cole would be the one to
That's
know.
fair.
Yeah, can you repeat the question?
Yeah, are the specific percentages for what is being burned listed on the website just yet?
No, the website's more of an overview of
Okay.
information.
Okay.
Specifics of that can be found on the white paper. I don't know if you have.
Okay.
Oh, well, yeah,
Yeah, they're listed in the white paper.
yeah, that would be the place for that, because the website just simply says 20 to 50% of Cardinal tokens spent on services are burned, but it doesn't go into detail just for the sake of keeping the website concise on what the percentages are per service. And once we actually create the pages on the DApp for each of those services, then we'll explain those details. But since those services aren't out yet, the DApp just has an overview of everything, and it keeps it nice and concise because it's already a long page since there's just so many different services that we're going to offer.
Yeah, so go ahead, check that out if you guys are interested, because a a good portion of what we're bringing in, especially from projects, are going to be burned. So most of those are not coming from the memberships, but rather our project services, where we're uh, allocating a certain percentage of everything we bring into buying and burning our tokens. So yeah, I think
Yeah,
that's about all I had.
I think that's a good place to call it. We can call the giveaway right now too. Yeah, I think Red Moon, he asked a ton of good questions. So you guys are all on board with giving him the OC NFT. I'd be
Yeah, that
100%
sounds
down with
perfect.
that. Yeah, well, Red Moon, congratulations. We'll hook you up with that NFT soon. So just again, the NFTs aren't minted yet. Those are the ones that we teased earlier in this presentation. Cole, do you have a timeline on when those will be minted? I know they're gonna be minted pretty soon.
Yeah, so they're all ready to be minted. DApp. So right now it's just Sydney is working on the art because we're making one of the a bit different than the other, and so it takes a bit to get all of them ready to be minted. But we're thinking at the end of this week, maybe Saturday, we'll have them minted for all of the current original Cardinal NFT holders.
Sweet.
Perfect. Yeah.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that is a great place to end the AMA. So again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Another shout out to our mod team. They are phenomenal. Could not be more thankful for them. But yeah, do you guys have any last words that you guys want to end on?
Just thank you guys. Like, you guys are, like we kind of talked about, you guys are the things that, the people that make this whole thing doable. Because without you, obviously, we wouldn't be able to bring any great projects on and have all the interactions we do. So we love you guys, and thank you for tuning in every time.
Yeah, take care, everybody. Have a great rest of your day.
Have a good one, everyone.